Good afternoon. I'm the 3rd platoon leader, and I will be giving you your OPORD for our upcoming mission. This will be a platoon attack. Reference our base order, the imagery we were provided, the 2014 Knox map, as well as the TMK I have built. Currently, it is 1700 on 18 April. We'll step off at 0430 19 April for a 07 attack, and then we'll exfil upon command. Task org, PL is myself, Platoon Sergeant Moore, Weasel Ford. For Assault 1 is Martinez, Assault 2 is Lirio, and Security Squad is Greenie. The area of interest is Fort Knox. Just reference where we are. To the north is the Ohio River, about 10 kilometers, and to the east is main base, about 4 kilometers. Our AO is Training Area Panther. We are gridded in on the north by grid line at 9-8 in Echo Gulf, to the south by 9-7, to the west is 8-6, and to the east is 8-7. You'll also see we have a couple of main roads. We have Old Mill Road, which is named MSR Red, and Old Salt Road, which is named MSR White. We have some open areas in this little crescent, this green crescent, just south of ASR White. That's non-wooded. We've also got a main power line running through the southern edge of our grid square. And then MSR Black, not in our grid square, fully to the south, but MSR Black is down at the bottom to our south. That's also Highway 6, called Highway 60. Two important features that are hard pointed in our AO. We have a farmhouse up here on the north edge. That's actually an objective. And then we have a mortar firing position for indirect fires, which is also named an objective. We'll get back to those later. Avenues of approach. So obviously we have the two main hardball roads at the northwestern edge of our grid. But we've also got these series of dotted lines. They are man-made roads and creek beds that run throughout our particular grid square. Terrain, it's mostly wooded other than this one open crescent. Other than that, it's all wooded, 75-meter fields of fire, 35-meter in the low ground. The trees are sufficient for cover and concealment against small arms fire. They are not for IDF, which is why our mission is going to be to take out the IDF when we get to that. Important feature to note, so this green shaded area here is actually high ground. So the terrain in our grid square runs from low ground down here at the southwestern corner, runs up to high ground in the northeastern corner. So this shaded area is one of the main contour lines that runs through our AO. You also notice this horseshoe, what we're going to be calling the horseshoe for the rest of the brief, which is a draw with high ground surrounding it, right next to our objective prints. We're going to call it the horseshoe. For this, no civil considerations. If you see civilians, avoid them. The weather, 60 to 75 degrees, no factor. Possible rain tomorrow evening. We're going to be done in the morning. No illume, but we're doing a daylight mission, doesn't matter. Important factor, sunrise, 0636. So the enemy, the Atropian Liberation Forces, in our AO, they have mortars, as well as logistics resupply and caches. Look for uniforms with black shirts, 4 to 5 man squads we should be encountering. Various small arms fire, as well as indirect fire provided in the form of 2 mortar tubes, 82mm mortars. We'll be taking out those. Recent activities, mostly resupplying. They're resupplying their main force south of MSR Black with Class 1 and Class 5 supplies. And Intel has noted that aside from this farmhouse where they've got their base of support and resupply cache, this red box here is a main corridor of resupply on this avenue of approach. Important locations in here. The farmhouse is at Echo Golf 86469795, and the indirect fire is at Echo Golf 86399752. These grids are on the TMK. We can get up close and personal after the brief. Enemy QRF. They have the ability to call in a QRF within 10 to 20 minutes. Since we are in the center of their AO around all of these avenues of approach, we're going to use the 10 minutes as the low end for our estimation. Most probable cause of action, they use team size ambushes to attack us and degrade our morale. However, since we're going after their support element, their indirect fire, they're most likely to be static and not ambushing us. We're going to attack them. Most dangerous is if they manage to get south and resupply with their force south of MSR Black. For friendlies in our AO, we have our grid square, that's Methodist Company. Grid square to our left is FSU. Grid square to our right is Campbell University. We're all doing decisive actions. We have a rear element, which is UNCP, Brave Company. They're going to be in the 3 grid squares to our south, and they're a reserve element for us. All right, in our grid, 1st Platoon is going to be conducting a raid on that farmhouse up on the northern edge, or north of us, 3rd Platoon. They are Objective King, and that is Echo Golf 8646 9795. 2nd Platoon is going to be doing an ambush at Objective Queen to our west. They're at Echo Golf 8605 9740. 4th Platoon is going to be doing a recon over here at Objective Bishop to confirm enemy infills. They're at Echo Golf 8693 9766. The 1st and 2nd Platoon PLs have deconflicted with me. We got together and we have made a fire line that we will not go past this main supply road. We're going to call that our LOA so that we do not get into their fields of fire. And then I'll talk about our sectors of fire later so that we don't spray either of our left and right friendlies. Mission. 3rd Platoon will conduct an attack on Objective Prince at Echo Golf 8639 9752. I say again, Echo Golf 8639 9752. No later than 1400 on 19 April to destroy the enemy squad and neutralize their mortars. We're conducting an attack on Objective Prince no later than 1400 19 April to destroy the enemy squad and neutralize the mortars. This will deny enemy resupply at AO Panther and prevent them projecting power through their indirect fire. The commander's intent is to find, fix, and finish the enemy, to destroy their personnel and equipment, and to deny resupply. So execution, the con-op for this. Quick summary is it's going to be in 4 phases. Phase 1 is going to be preparation and moving from the patrol base to the ORP. Phase 2 is going to be ORP all the way to mission set, ready to initiate the attack. Phase 3 is going to be actions on the objective, demolition set, and defense and preparation of any counterattacks. Phase 4 will be when we are recalled and we head back to the patrol base. We blow the enemy IDF equipment in place, and ends when we return to the patrol base. For those phases, phase 1 is going to start at 0430 when we step off, and phase 3 will start at 07 when we initiate the attack. Phase 4 will be upon recall by company command over the radio. Alright, so the scheme of maneuver. Phase 1, we'll start at the patrol base. Patrol base is Echo Golf 8692 9703. Now we have almost 700 meters to move up to our objective, which using the Ranger standard of 1 kilometer of patrol per hour means we need about 45 minutes. We're going to be moving in low light during the morning, so I'm going to give us a full hour just to complete that movement, not aside from preparations, rehearsals, and the recon and getting set, leaders recon and getting set. So it's going to be quite a long mission. Once we step out from the patrol base, we're going to be in traveling overwatch, since we're going on a mission, in a platoon column, standard column, security at the front, assault 1, assault 2. From the patrol base to the ORP, we're going to be going 310 degrees magnetic for 350 meters, and we'll arrive at the ORP at Echo Golf 86679725. We'll take the ORB by force, and once we take it by force, we'll give 5 minutes to get everybody set in and get the leaders to the center so I can get the Gatwa. I'll Gatwa the platoon sergeant, and I'll give him the note that since we are going after the IDF, if we get in contact, that the platoon sergeant should bring all the forces from the ORP and come to us, so that 1, we can neutralize those mortars, and 2, the closer they are to the mortars, the less of a threat they are, because if they stay out there, they could be targeted by the mortars. For the leaders recon, we'll be taking the PL, the RTO, the assistant gunners, the 3 squad leaders, the Weasel. I want an AS-1 Alpha rifleman and an AS-2 Bravo rifleman and the 2 security saws. And we'll get over that why later. From there, we'll head to the release point. It's a 310 degrees magnetic for 200 meters. And that will be at, the release point will be at Echo Golf 86499737. Of note, this whole time, we will be moving generally west in the low ground along this contour line with the high ground to our east. Also, I've chosen to step off 0430 and to initiate our mission at 07. This has all been done so that as the sun rises, we'll be maneuvering in the shadows on the low ground to the west side of the hill. And since we're attacking slightly to the west, when we initiate the attack, the defenders, or the enemy, are going to have to look slightly uphill into the sunrise to try and look at us, and they're going to have the sun in their eyes. That's why we chose the time and this relatively straight path to Objective Prince, is because it falls in the low ground and we'll be in the shadows. Alright. From the release point, after we've conducted SILs and done all that, we're gonna move forward 75 more meters, because the release point is 150 from the objective. We're gonna move forward 75 more, and I'm gonna place the 2 security saws as my S&O. I want the 2 saws there because if the mortars try and get placed into action, we have more firepower there to try and take those on. Also, because falling away from the mortars and being out in the open is dangerous, if the 2 saws, those S&O, come in contact, they have some firepower to try and neutralize the threat as they are. The 75 meters is going to be on the south side of this man-made road or creek bed. Because we don't want to go past the LDA with the S&O, we're going to stay on the south side of the road. We'll place those S&Os. We'll give a Gatwa that if they get in contact, to open fire with their saws before falling back if they aren't able to gain fire superiority. From here, I'm going to confirm that this road is our last carbon concealment, which will be our PLD for the attack. And also, if possible, I'm going to confirm the LOA on the backside of our objective is this road, which is also our deconflicted fire line. Alright, I'll go back to the RP. I'll pick up the Weasel, the Assault 1 squad leader, and the Assault 1 Alpha rifleman. Now, because I would like to use this high ground as a base of fire, it's not a great option because I'm going to be firing towards our 2nd platoon, and if I set a base of fire over here, I'd be firing towards our friendlies on our right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use our gun teams basically as strong side security on both sides of our mission. And they can provide security as well as covering the avenues of approach, since we know that this AO is a supply corridor. So I'm going to take the Assault 1 squad leader and the Weasel, and we're going to cloverleaf over, confirm the assault line for Assault 1, and cloverleaf over to this intersection. At this intersection, I'm going to emplace the AG-1 and the Assault 1 Alpha Rifleman. That intersection is at Echo Golf 8626-9736. And I'm going to work with the Weasel to confirm that the left gun limit is 232 degrees magnetic, which should basically follow up this road. We will cloverleaf back to the release point, and then from this point, I will take the security squad leader and the Assault 2 squad leader. We'll cloverleaf over, confirm the Assault 2 line, and then get to this intersection. That intersection is at 8645-9746. We will place the AG-2 and the Assault 2 Bravo Rifleman, and we will confirm that this gun line is 349 degrees magnetic, which should basically be along the road. So at this point, we'll have gun 1 and gun 2, or the AG-1 and AG-2 set up so that the guns will be our strong side securities to cordon, as well as cover those avenues of approach. Go back to the RP. I'll get the SNO intel and their sector sketches. Hopefully we've confirmed where the mortar tubes are at this point, so we can take that back to the TMK. From this point, we'll fall back, or head back from the RP to the ORP, the PL, the RTO, and the 4 squad leaders. We will check the TMK the platoon sergeant has made, add the locations of where we dropped people, and if we have the location of the mortar tubes and the enemy. We will drop rooks. Hopefully the rooks have already been put in the center by the platoon sergeant. And we will platoon column up to the release point. Order of movement for this is going to be Assault 1 in the front, Assault 2 and security in the back. Once we get to the release point, the Weasel will take gun 1 over and put it in position. The security squad leader is going to take gun 2 and the rifleman from security squad and go to this intersection here with the platoon sergeant. Assault 1 will place their squad along the line. Assault 2 will place their squad along the line by bounding up to the SNO. From the SNO, we will confirm the intel is still the same and that nothing's changed. And from there, we will crawl up to the last cover and concealment, which should be the road, which should be where we depart from. At this point, the 2 security squad saws, which were the SNO, are going to stay online with the assault squads. At 7 a.m., first platoon should initiate their raid up here. We should hear the gunfire in the distance, and the mortar crews might try and get their mortars in placement, which means at 7:02, 2 minutes after the raid, if the mortar crews are trying to get their mortars into operation, we will initiate the attack. It's going to be on my M4 signal. The 4 saws from the assaults plus the 2 saws from security are going to open. So our base of fire is just going to be the static line firing 6 belt-fed weapons, the 6 saws, at the mortar crews for 30 seconds. If that raid does not happen, I will initiate by 7:05 with my M4. If the raid initiates early and the mortar crews try and get into position before 7, we will initiate on my M4. After our base of fire for 30 seconds, we will stop, look for movement. If there is, we will continue firing. If not, we'll do a sequential reload. Assault 1 and Assault 2 will bound through the objective to the LOA at the backside. When Assault 1 and Assault 2 hit their LOA and start lace, the security squad leader is going to reconsolidate his squad. They're going to move up the eastern edge of the objective a little bit. Security squad is going to get online and is going to clear this horseshoe and then stay at the eastern edge of the horseshoe. Once they get set, they're going to start their lace reports. At this point, I should have lace from Assault 1 and Assault 2, and I'm going to send the EPW teams to clear the objective. If we have no casualties, once they call clear, then we'll move on to the next phase. If we do have casualties, when they call clear, we'll send out aid and litter. Assuming no casualties, once they call clear, the platoon sergeant, I'm going to task with moving in and consolidating the mortar pieces and making a mortar destroyment plan. The EPW, if there's no casualties, will continue on to search the KIA. The aid and litter teams, as well as the riflemen from security squad, will consolidate on the platoon sergeant, and the platoon sergeant will work on moving the mortars and explosives the 60 meters from where our objective was over to the low ground in the horseshoe. The clearing of the objective by the EPW should have taken 3 minutes. That gives the platoon sergeant 5 minutes to move these mortar pieces. Once that's happened, we will use the red, white, and blue calls that are typical to a raid. We're going to use those to facilitate a consolidation of power and preparation of a counterattack. So on the red call, the guns over here at this intersection are going to fall back and take up a field of fire to the north along the avenue of approach from this high ground on the horseshoe. Gun 2 is still going to be here on the low ground. On the red call, the gun 2 is going to turn around and face the other direction. On the white call, Assault 1 is going to fall back from their position and take up a position on the southern edge of this horseshoe on the high ground. And then on the blue call, the Assault 2 is going to take up position on the north side of the horseshoe. So at this point, we'll have gun facing south, gun facing north, Assault 1, Assault 2, and security. And then the mortar pieces that we needed to consolidate are going to be in the low ground down there. At this point, the red, white, and blue will give 2 minutes for that to happen, and we're just going to sit in security posture on the high ground for now and wait for any counterattack. We'll also call up to company and let them know that we have consolidated the mortar pieces. We are waiting for any counterattack. If we do not see a counterattack by 20 minutes, the long end of that estimate, we'll call company. If company tells us to return to the patrol base from that point, then we'll get ready to do so. We'll move out in the platoon column. Assault 1 will head off. Security and Assault 2 will head off the horseshoe. We will head 156 degrees magnetic for 310 meters to get back to the ORP. As soon as the last personnel are off of the high ground, we can set off an explosive to destroy all that IDF equipment that's in the low ground. Because it's in the low ground, the earthworks will provide the natural cover to protect that explosion. From the ORP to the patrol base is 130 degrees magnetic for 350 meters. Once we get back to the patrol base, we will perform accountability and do mission complete at the patrol base. Tasks: the platoon sergeant and I will deconflict with the other PLs to deconflict this gun line and let it set it as our LOA so that we're not firing at each other with heavy machine guns. The Weasel and the security squad leader are going to be responsible for helping confirm when we emplace the guns that we have good left and right gun limits. And the RTO is responsible for making sure he has comms with company. PIRs for this mission is any supply caches or movements of enemy troops. For supply, there's an error in the op board if anybody reads it. We're not taking 8 quarts of water because we only have 2 quarts of canteens. So we're taking 2 quarts of water apiece, a standard ammo load. Also, security squad needs to make sure they have at least 2 grenades and or a claymore so that we can destroy those IDF pieces. Chain of command is going to be PL Platoon Sergeant Weasel and squad leaders in order. Reports, lace reports after the assault, and then I need that clear from the EPW so that I can start other pieces in motion before we start searching and or the IDF roundup that the platoon sergeant is in charge of. The signal pace plan, primary radio, alternate hand and arm, contingency whistle, emergency as runner, as well as we're going to be on 2 nets, platoon net and company net. And that concludes my brief. Any questions? If no questions, I expect a brief back from the Weasel and the squad leaders. And then it is now 17:30. It's now 17:30, and we will perform priorities of work for the night before stepping off at 04:30.